Brought to you in association with Carol Nash Insurance, giving your bike the care it deserves. Steve Keys, Matt Roberts and Danny John Jules are undertaking a charity ride from London to Valencia, the final MotoGP race of 2011. A ride made more poignant by the tragic death just a week earlier of racer number 58, Marco Simoncelli. Having ridden through heavy rain, the team met ex-GP rider Randy Mamola.
Just lean over that, baby.
Who took them to an abandoned racetrack.
I don't know if you'd like to try to go around it.
I think we should try and ride it.
Well, the thing is, obviously, it's trespassing, 100%.
Trespassing was the least of their problems, however. A flash flood stood in the way.
The road has just become a river. And behind there is the grandstand of the racetrack. Wow.
Well, there's a smile in me like a midday sun and a black hole sucking out every problem. The cloud that wants my son to drown, but the big black hole was all the water that well, I still got a mind to pound, think I've ever been up this high.
So I don't know if this is part of the family. I don't know. So
Not sure if he's friend or foe.
obviously he's one of the farmers that's part of this property. You know, everything's prohibited. The back of the grandstands is right here, what you saw when we were up on top of the bank. This is the only way that I know of getting across to go inside. It's the main area.
Yeah.
There is a back entrance. Just trying to go into the old oval. We're just chatting to the farmer there who owns the land to make sure he doesn't mind.
So they can meet us over there.
We've got the all clear.
Yeah, you see, you catch all the action.
Charlie Bowman, eat your heart out. Watch this.
Another river. Time for some fun. Danny Kloss is a local racing driver who is part of the team trying to bring the track at Sitges back to life.
There's a foundation here in Catalonia that you know, they will take care and they will be in charge of the autodromo.
Like a trust.
And I'm gonna be like a little bit like the advisor from some tracks, and this is one of them. So.
You're a racer yourself,
I'm actually.
He's a car racer, yeah?
Car racer, yeah, in GP2. Just a step before Formula 1.
Wow.
And yeah, you know, this is just a new project apart from
That's
racing.
Great.
Yeah.
No, well, that makes sense now.
Good.
Hopefully we'll see you in Formula 1.
Hopefully, we'll see. We're working for it for sure.
Wicked.
So can you show us around?
Yeah, sure.
Fantastic.
Okay, you can do it.
After a quick lesson on safety from Randy,
When in doubt, pin it.
it was time to hit the track.
Arriving at the track and looking up at the bank was even more scarier than when we looked down from the top.
It's always best to do these things when you don't quite know what's going to happen. And to be on a disused race circuit on a day like this, with everybody around you watching, was an absolute pleasure.
You had to not only keep your eye on everyone else around you, but there was these little craters with grass growing out of them. If you would have hit one of them, it could be a leather-tearing moment.
We didn't really know what to expect, so going around one lap and seeing how much dust and how many potholes there were really was a surprise. It was just a case of heads down, point in the right direction and just keep going.
It was a bit embarrassing to see Steve and Matt sort of hurtling past me, but I didn't care. I felt safe.
I never thought I'd get the opportunity to ride a banked circuit. Years ago I'd spoken to my grandfather about it and he'd ridden round Brooklands. So to be here and enjoying this really felt like something special.
Warm-up lap finished, it was time for the guys to start to pick up the pace and enjoy themselves. But it's a long way to the top of the banking.
How's that, Brett?
I tell you what, it was absolutely fantastic, but I feel dizzy now.
Look out, Matt. Here comes Danny. Oh, that was close.
When you go round there, it looks like there's a brick wall in front of you. So your mind's telling you danger, but common sense is telling you get the gas on, because you're on a bank. It is the weirdest thing. We're going to watch Randy do it on Lorenzo's bike. Now that's going to be something to see. Here he comes.
That gave the suspension a workout. You see there's something actually hanging off the back of it. There's something hanging off the back of the bike. It's his laces. His laces are outside. The bloke's an absolute legend and a nutcase. Can you believe that, Dan? I mean, that was just...
Listen, man.
We were getting excited being halfway up there.
The one and only Randy Momola, man.
How did that look?
Listen. Stop. Oh my God! Listen, it's unreal. You shouldn't be able to see somebody like that.
And the thing is, again, we always think about history and so on and so forth, as we said at the beginning. He's 88 years old, and you can't imagine doing that in an open cockpit car for a race, for a Grand Prix. Back in 1923.
Rubbing wheels with other people.
And you did it with your laces undone. As you came by.
No, well, that's the cool thing with DC shoes. You've got to keep them open.
Yeah.
Have you seen the front tyre? Right.
That's been warmed up.
If that isn't a Bridgestone advert, what is?
It's crazy.
My throttle was going with my sphincter. Wah, 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 wah.
Wow, that's information. Can we see that on telemetry? Man?
You won't see that on the documentary.
On that bum note, it was time for Randy to leave.
Randy, man, always a pleasure.
Thanks so much for coming, huh?
Man.
It was good having you.
See you tomorrow.
All right.
We're gonna need
that yoga class.
We're gonna need it, man. After that,
man. A little bit worse than this bank.
I'm still having palpitations here, man.
I gotta go do some laps.
All right, man.
See ya.
Take it steady on that.
Take it steady, man.
The guys also had to head off. It was 60 winding miles to the next stop, a yoga retreat at Montreal. It would be yet another long ride in the dark. Having arrived amongst fellow petrol heads, it was time to relax and kick back. And a bite to eat.
It was Matt and Danny out there, and they were lovely formation, and I held back and I thought, right, I'm going to take a run at this. And they were up doing, what do you reckon, 75, 80 mile an hour?
And this pink flash just went between us and the...
And just as I went, I saw this gap, and I thought we'll be all right, and it just started to go like that, and Brett started to go like that, and there's no work of the brakes, so I just went, wow. Straight through.
Brought to you in association with Carol Nash Insurance, giving your bike the care it deserves. Riders for Health is a charity that provides transport and training to enable medicines and education to reach those that need it. It is widely supported by MotoGP, which is why Danny John Jules, Steve Keys and Matt Roberts are on a charity ride to the last MotoGP event of the year in Valencia. they've spent the penultimate day with Randy Mamola, riding around an abandoned racetrack, stirring up dust and memories.
I first rode a motorcycle of any kind on the dry creek. It wasn't dry today, we had to ride through it. It was a torrent, but it's most of the year that's dry, and I actually rode my first ever motorcycle around there with Randy about, I don't know, 8 years ago, something like that. He taught me to change gear on a bike and everything, so it felt pretty nice for me on a personal level to go back and actually ride that circuit.
I mean, it was bad enough just being on the banking, but the bloody potholes in it. Honestly, you couldn't hang on to the bike. 1 minute you're there, the next minute, literally jumping up and down.
Having lunch with Randy, I didn't realise that Randy actually first went to Africa in 1988. I thought Riders for Health was something, 10 years old or something, but this guy's been doing this charity thing since 1988. It's high in my estimation, and he's even higher now. Especially after seeing him go around that bank today, it was absolutely crazy.
So after that we headed up here to Montreal, which is a very small little village. Only about 30 people or something live up here. And I found out about this place through my uncle. My aunt actually comes down here and meditates for a couple of months each year. So they put us in touch, and the guys are big MotoGP fans. They're going to ride down to Valencia with us tomorrow.
Good morning, ladies.
We're going in to a yoga session at 7 o'clock in the morning. This is going to be interesting.
Hey, look at it, very inviting, isn't it? We told you it'd be easy.
Yeah.
Do you want to be in the middle?
Yeah. Went out straight away. A long way in the back.
Fantastic. Hello.
Pretty good.
Just take a moment and close your eyes and start to circle your heart. So you're leading the movement with your heart. You can open your eyes if you come down to the pelvic floor. Imagine the pelvis is like a bowl.
Time for the guys to show us how flexible they are. Or maybe not.
And if you want, you can bring up that back foot.
Well, Matt's stretching tendencies just haven't really been tested for probably a few decades now. He's holding his hand up there to try and look good, but in fact, it's just rubbish.
The hand against the hand. Reach up, open your chest. Look up. Beautiful. Your right foot forward between your hands. Come down with the left knee. Breathe in and sweep both arms aside. Just look at it.
It's about now they're realizing that in fact, they look idiots.
Breathe out, come to the other side. It was the socks.
The teacher and the other students really just feel pity for them.
Place the hands in the ground. You make a shell with your arms. You lift up.
Danny trying to recall some of those early years in musical theatre where he did move quite fluidly.
He's got the right.
Right.
Go on then.
He must have been craned into that position. I can't believe. Notice we didn't see the beginning of that. After the lesson, it was no longer dark, but with the mist hanging around, visibility was still poor.
Yoga.
Okay, and else we've turned on. There we go.
With 190 miles to the finale at Valencia, it was time to go from the Lotus to the motorbike position. It was slow progress to start, with the windy roads and slippery conditions. Soon conditions improved and they could enjoy the ride. This was the final leg of a long journey. Arriving at motorway services, the guys are waylaid by fans who have been able to follow them by tracker online.
Hey!
Hey!
Hi, I'm James.
Who's got the tracker?
Mine.
Do you realise that you've broken the speed limit in 3 countries?
Is that right? How do you know?
Because it gives us...
No,
that's a vicious rumour. And
we just had it tweaked, didn't we?
And every now and then I borrow my bike to someone.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's for the record.
Are you sure?
But I think that was when Matt was riding the bike.
Is that right?
We swapped.
Time for Danny to entertain his fans.
Ow! Yeah. Look at that.
An example of wine and food from the area, which they've kindly packed up for us so that we can put that in the auction on Friday night.
Never done this before. Don't know what to do. You know when you're writing a card and you don't know what to write?
Oh right, what book's this?
This is Matt's book.
This is much better than that Red Dwarf stuff.
Oh no! Oh, it's glossy as well.
Look, it's got pictures in it, it's much easier to read. Send you a copy, Danny.
No, that's great. Sorry, you know what I mean? It's like, I'll read the whole thing here.
Danny read a book? Really?
So you're not far to go now?
No,
About 130.
coming past the sign on the way here, that's what it's all
I'm
about.
half tempted to go in there and get a soup.
Soup. He hasn't had a soup all
I
day.
had a soup all day.
The soup would have to wait. Having signed the fans' books, there was now just the little matter of getting to the circuit in time for the charity lap.
Hey man, I'm with the champions.
Finally, they arrive at the Valencia Circuit, and already they're attracting attention.
Buenos dias. Nice to see you.
3 countries later and here we are.
They were quickly back on their bikes and ready for a couple of laps of the famous circuit.
It was a privilege for us to be able to lead everyone round a couple of laps of that famous circuit.
I was buzzing to know that I was going to actually get to ride around the circuit. Unfortunately, they wouldn't let us film. But it didn't take away the memory of me riding the same lines as people like Lorenzo, Rossi, Simoncelli, Crutchlow, all these guys that you watch from the side, and there you are trying to get on the line.
I've lent it in at Valencia, man.
You were on it.
I've lent it in at Valencia, brother. Lent it in.
That's it, we managed to get it all the way down from London in one piece.
One piece.
The circuit in one piece.
Round the circuit on a greasy track.
I must admit, when we went out, I thought, oh, this would just do it now. If we just went and stacked it, coming all the way down from London. All right. Yeah, you.
Oh, that's your boys, isn't it?
Yeah, my boys.
The crew.
Yeah. You all right? On it, mate.
Got to work.
I was going to say, we're going to chill out.
We're going to chill out. Matt's got to go work.
With Matt having to rush off to his day job as MotoGP presenter, it would be several weeks later before the guys could properly get together and discuss the trip.
It was nerve-wracking, and then I saw Matt hacking into a corner.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, that bike's got to be
He was trying to get his knee down in the wet at Valencia Circuit on the bike we had to auction.
So then,
what was going through your mind at that point?
I thought I'd just try and put a bit more value on it, add another story to its rich history.
Matt's bike, ridden by Randy Mamola and previously by Lorenzo at the TT, was sold to raise extra funds for Riders for Health. It wasn't long before they were planning the next trip.
So we're doing it again next year?
Tell you what, I'd be ashamed not to, don't you think? Well, Randy Mamola is just, you know, dribbling it before, isn't he? Exactly. Oh, we got a horrible thought.
When they ride next to each other, the two big, it's like riding behind Jordan. It's just two big pink.
To learn, stuff keeps them rolling, gain speed of every turn. This is trial by fire, fuels burning down.
I love 3 men together.
Yeah. Go on criticizing the French. Yes.
Well, there's a smile in me like a midday sun.
Just lean over that, baby.
Holy mackerel. Hand right.
Holy mackerel.
If you would like to support Riders for Health or see the work that they do, please visit www.riders.org.
Never felt such pressure below. I see the stars up on my like glow.